in this particular battle, 2 faders were broken. But, you know, whatever. My point was made. You know, I'm not going to say that I am 100% the reason why Precision deleted his rant. You know, because like I said, he called out a lot of people within this rant. But after our clarification, you know, he took it down. But before he took it down, Hakuna Matata, of course, made it his business to chime in, you know, trying to interject himself, you know, into some shit that he didn't know nothing about, you know, because one, he wasn't there, you know, so yeah, I showed Armateo this conversation, you know, I sent him the conversation, you know, I was like, hey, don't let all of Hakuna's supreme salutes fool you, you know, because Precision don't fuck with this guy. You see it, his own words, you know, he says he don't know this guy. Like, I don't even know why I was listening to him. So, you know, just put that out there, you know, again, just to let Armateo know the type of nigga that he's on this forum with every week, you know, things that he's never, you know, he's never heard Hakuna Matata speak on any of this stuff, you know, because these are things that Hakuna didn't want people to know. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he knew that I had this conversation with Precision, you know. So, basically, I just snowballed Armateo with a whole bunch of shit, you know, like the conversation with Precision, you know, and I'm just like, you know, dude is just constantly disrespecting me. You know, he's quick to call me a fraud, you know, talking about I stole DMC battles and, you know, all this kind of shit. I said, when you directly ask him how, he don't have no answers, you know, because again, he wasn't there too. But also when I ask that question, I always make sure to tag Christy from DMC, you know, because she doesn't like people talking shit about her events. So every time he pops off about DMC, I tag Christy. I'm like, hey, how did I steal this battle? And Christy's like, yeah, how did he steal DMC? And he doesn't respond. Again, he does not respond to direct questioning, right? But he also knows better than to get into a war of words with Christy, because Christy gives no fucks on Facebook. She will air you out. And, you know, with the respect that she has earned over the past 17, 18 years of doing DMC battles, people generally side with her whenever she has a problem. So, you know, he don't want those type of, you know, clapbacks from her. Right? So he you know, he doesn't answer her. But what he'll do is, you know, he'll block me from whatever I respond to. In this particular instance, you know, I was responding to one Instagram post where he calling me a fraud and all this shit. He'll block me, but then continue talking shit, you know, so that he can remain in control of the narrative. You know, he'll block me so that he can remain in control. So, you know, that's, yeah, so I'm hitting Armateo with all this, you know, so I'm like, you know, if I'm so fraudulent, you know, like I sent him a whole bunch of videos, you know, videos of me with Scratch Bastard and Babu and Shortcut, you know, Jeff, Cash Money, you know, these are world-renowned people, you know, and if I'm so fraudulent, right? So again, you know, I just want you to know the type of nigga that you're listening to. You know, like he's talking all, you know, like he's popping off, you know, about me getting fired from my Ludacris situation, which everybody knows. That shit was 6 years ago. No one gives a fuck about that shit anymore. But, you know, he's hopping on it, you know, like it's some brand new shit, you know, wanting to bring it up. You know, mentioning, you know, that I got fired from my radio station job, you know, putting it out there that I got fired for playing Cyndi Lauper records, which is totally not true. I mean, I have played Cyndi Lauper on V103 before, but while I'm playing 80s stuff, you know, it's not like a nigga is just playing Cyndi Lauper for the fuck of it. You know, there's a specific reason why I play what the fuck I played on the radio. So, you know, like he's just, you know, coming out his mouth, man, coming out his face, commenting on shit that he don't know nothing about, you know, and I'm just, you know, taking notes. Okay, all right, you know, creating a little paper trail, right? You know, again, dot your I's, cross your T's, man. You know, I just watch you say all this, and it's just like, okay, like it's funny, you know, like he got to put a little sensational spin on it, you know, so that his followers will eat it up and, you know, hang on his every word, you know, but at the end of the day, it's all fucking lies, you know, like, how can a motherfucker who's never done any kind of radio speak on a nigga who's done radio of all types for a very long time? Like, what? How can you speak on some shit that you don't know about? Right? I mean, you know, you may know people that, you know, have done radio before, and, you know, the only thing that you would know was what the fuck they tell you, you know, from their experience or whatever, but you ain't done this shit yourself to be able to offer an informed opinion, bruh. So why the fuck are you speaking on me? A person that you've only been around one time in public. But yeah, so keeping it moving. So I hit Armateo with a whole lot of shit. You know, that I shouldn't have, but I felt since I was on a roll, let me just put it out there, put everything, you know, just to give him another angle of how to, you know, just another viewpoint. You know, I didn't want things to be one-sided no more. So he got all this shit, and then he finally hit me back. Like, yo, you know, like, again, when you're used to hearing a story one way, and then, you know, somebody come with the receipts, you know, to show you that it's actually another way, you know, you tend to be like, damn, I didn't know it was like that. You know, so I hit Armateo with so much shit, man. Like, it literally took him 2 days to process it all. And when he was done processing it, he actually wanted to FaceTime me and actually have a FaceTime conversation. You know, our FaceTime conversation was over 3 hours. Our FaceTime conversation was over 3 hours. You know, it was respectful. It was very eye-opening. You know, he asked me, like, hey, you know, what do you want me to do with this info? I was like, you can show it. You know, go ahead, show it. You know, like, I'm tired of the lies and disrespect. Like, I'm just tired of this shit, and I want it to stop. Right? So he's like, okay. Now, mind you, also, because of the messages, because of the post that Hakuna Matata made about me being delusional or whatever, King James, a DJ that I've known since '95, called me. You know, again, not gonna front, you know, like we buddy, but we've definitely known each other for over 20 years. And there's always been respect. There's never been an issue between me and King James. Never. Even from the DMC competition that I beat him at, to win the Atlanta regional, right? There was still never no issue. We even actually had a phone conversation for about 2 hours after that, right? Way down the line. But, again, no history of any type of feud with King James, right? So King James actually calls me. We're on the phone for about 3 hours. King James wants to squash this shit, because he actually knows Hakuna Matata. Apparently they met in Philly some years back. He just, grown men, and you don't like to see your people fighting on the internet, so he wanted to, cause this shit to cease. He wanted this shit to cease, and I told him the only way that it would cease is old boy would have to come out and he would have to, he would have to talk about the lies and slander. He would have to publicly admit that he's been fucking lying on me and disrespecting me. He didn't want to do that. We were on the phone for 3 hours, and then King James called him and said, hey, how can we, old boy wanted to keep it going. All right, you want to keep it going? Okay. All right, your pride just don't, okay. This is what it is. You want to keep it going. So, so now Armateo has all this info at his disposal. Armateo says, hey, man, I'm going to send it to him. And, because I want to have a one-on-one convo with him. So I'm going to send it to him. He said, because he told me that the reason y'all don't like each other was because of a battle that I judged. See, he didn't know, that this nigga had actually told people that he beat me in a battle that, again, never fucking happened. So, he said he was gonna send him everything, and when he said when he's done looking at it, he said, I want you, want to have a convo with you. Before you go on the net, disrespecting, blah, 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 we need to have a man-to-man convo. Right? So that's what was supposed to happen. Now, what ended up happening was, of course, dude, before Real DJ Talk 11, he was making posts, accusing people of trying to run online smear campaigns. The irony, the motherfucker who's actually doing online smear campaigns, accusing the person who's just trying to defend his name. You're accusing me of creating an online smear campaign. Like, really? Like, okay, whatever. So, I was waiting on what episode 11 was gonna bring. I wanted to see how he was going to weave in and weave out of. I wanted to see if he was going to deflect from direct evidence. I mean, you can't get more direct than a nigga's own words. You can't get more direct than a nigga's own voice, telling motherfuckers to come troll me, right? Like, you can't get more, right? So how are you going to wiggle your way out of this? Like I told Armateo, I said, hey, man, like, he's got to come up with a real entertaining way to avoid dealing with all these truth bombs that are one after the other that I done just showed you. So he starts off his episode number 11 like he's gonna talk about it, right? But then Armateo is like, hey, hold off, because, I guess they were texting each other back and forth, Matter of fact, while this was going on, I was already tuned in to what was going on. And I'm gonna admit, I was sending messages back and forth to Armateo like, hey man, so dude started off like he was going, be with the shits, about online smear tactics. But Armateo, told him to ease up because, again, this was something that they were supposed to talk about one-on-one first before this. So you see, the fact that dude was getting ready to do it, it shows you that he don't honor his word. Right? But Armateo put a stop to it. And so the conversation, it was just boring, because I was sitting there just like, okay, I thought he was gonna talk, I'm like, Armateo, yo, this shit is boring, man. Like, get him to, like, I want to hear, what the fuck he's gonna say. So, he was coming up with excuses. Like, talking about, he didn't want to talk about it because, he didn't want to jeopardize something that Armateo had going on or whatever. Like, it was totally funny to just see him go from tough talking Tony to a bitch. It was very funny to see that. And, I kept hitting him. I was like, yo, man, tell him to say something. Go, So Armateo tried to say, hey, man, go on and get into it. But dude wouldn't do it. Like, he just would not fucking talk. Like, he didn't want to say my name at all. Right? Because also in the messages that I had sent Armateo, I said, hey, man, like, I'm really going to get a cease and desist order from a lawyer and have this shit shut the fuck down. Because, like, I just can't have this nigga talking reckless, like this.